Welcome back to the second episode of Emelie in Iceland. This time you will join me for maternity shoots in the south, and we will start out with a beautiful shoot at a waterfall with 2 horses. We will then travel to Jökulsárlón to photograph Valdís with the beautiful icebergs in the background. It's very challenging to photograph in Iceland, mostly because of the weather, which is changing constantly. If you have sun 1 minute, you can have snow the next minute. As they say in Iceland, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. This shoot took place at the waterfall Glukkafoss. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, which is located about 20 minutes from Hekla. Sigurborg owns Hekla Horse Rental together with Inki, so they both have great experience when they're handling the horses. They also brought another horse from a friend, since this horse knows how to lay down on command. A photo shoot with animals are always challenging, because you have to be patient and don't rush. This horse was a little bit scared of Sigurborg's dress, so it was hard to make it lay down. After several failed attempts, we decided to take the pictures with her standing with the horse instead. While photographing them, I needed to be very careful, no sudden moves or sounds. Another challenge with this shoot was without doubt the light. I am very picky about the angle where the light comes from, and to have such strong sun from the side was a bit hard. We had been looking for waterfalls with backlight for a very long time, but everyone that had a road close by had the sun in the wrong direction. I decided to go with Glukkafoss anyway, since it was really beautiful and no tourists were around. Instead, I used the sun from the side and tried to use the exposure to get the soft light. When the sun was behind the clouds, the light was perfect. Here you can see 2 different pictures of the sun and the sun behind the clouds. To have some distance to the models and get the beautiful background, I used Tamron 85mm 1.8. It's a very price-worthy lens, who also have the image stabilizer, which is really good. The thing I like the most about this lens is that I don't get a lot of chromatic aberration, and it's really light. My best tips for this kind of shoot is to try out the angles properly before you start. Small adjustments as a couple of centimeters will make a huge difference. If it's cold, I usually let my models have the jackets on while I'm trying the light. And when I'm satisfied, we can start, just so you don't feel stressed while they are waiting. When you are photographing someone in this kind of cold location, you need to put a lot of effort to make them feel comfortable. Use heat bags under the clothes, take breaks with jackets, bring something warm to drink if you live nearby, and most important, talk to the model and encourage her constantly. Show her the pictures so she can see that it's worth it, and try to prepare as much as possible before the shoot, so you don't have to change memory cards, check for other places, or discuss anything while she is waiting. The best pictures was taken in the end of the session. The sun was really soft and I had the grass in the foreground from some distance. For me, it's really important to get the dynamic in the picture so it doesn't feel flat. To have things in the foreground helped me to get a more interesting picture. My best tips: publish a model call on your Facebook page to attract customers. If you don't have any pictures to show from Iceland, I recommend you to first do a free shoot and then announce for a special package for another trip. It's hard to establish a company in another country, but definitely not impossible. Book some extra time with your model. If the weather changes, you don't want to get stressed by the sunset. Prepare as much as possible. Meet the model before, use heat bags, and scout locations properly. Give the model all instructions possible so they feel safe and not nervous.
This was a kind of a different photo shoot. It was really hard because I needed to be very patient with the horse, and the light was very hard, so we had some troubling for the right angle, but I think it turned out really good when the sun was a little bit more soft. I think I got really good pictures. Now in the end I sat down and I used 85 millimeters and took the grass in the foreground, and then I got a really nice picture because I'm really picky. I don't want the pictures to look flat. I want something to happen. I want different elements to connect in the picture. I don't want to take a picture just straight up. I want to have different things that frames the picture in a good way. And of course the light is important for me. So when the sun was behind the clouds and we were sitting here, I got the best pictures. So that's really important, to wait and to tell your customers that the light is so important and show them the differences so they understand. And they did, and they were so fine with waiting and really appreciate it. But this day has been amazing, and I can't wait to get back home to edit the pictures. So tomorrow you will go with us to Salon to photograph a model with a tulle skirt and some icebergs. See you there.
Since the water in Iceland is totally drinkable and very good, you don't have to buy new bottles of water every day. So buy one and fill it up in your hotel so you save money and the environment's really good. One other smart thing to bring in your car is a plastic bag for the trash. Since Iceland is such a beautiful country, you don't want to put the trash in the nature. So buy some plastic bags, put it between you and the very messy driver. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a messy driver. It's good to rent a big car, they said. You will have so much space, they said. In Sweden they would call us lortgrisar.
This is so fun.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Men
What is that? Welcome! Nej, det är bajs på den också. Men vad är det för något? Nej, det var en choklad. Don't eat in the car, they said. Don't drink in the car, they said. Kan man göra så här? Så kan man torka av lite. Ska du hålla i det här sen? Åh gud, jag orkar inte. Det låter som en liten fågel. Okay, so we're at Jakobsarlon and we're doing a maternity shoot with Valdis, who has this amazing tulle skirt, and we have chosen a place there there's not many tourists, just to avoid to have them in the background. If you're photographing at Skogafoss or Gullfoss, you will have many trouble to edit them in Photoshop, so this is a good spot, and I will try to get the tourists out of the picture. So now we're going to photograph here and have the icebergs in the background, and since it's a little bit foggy, I want to choose a place where the icebergs are as high as possible so we don't get too much of the foggy sky. So I will start out with 85mm, and I will stand from here to get the view. Yes, perfect.
I was really excited about this shoot, and I had checked the weather about 1,000 times. It's quite a trip there, 3 hours from Hetla, and you don't find many restaurants and stops after Vik. When we arrived to Jakobsarlon, the weather was really foggy and I was a bit worried. Another problem was the big pile of sand behind me who reflected dark colors on her. On this location, the angle is also very important. I made sure to have as much sky as possible behind me and high icebergs behind Valdis to cover the foggy sky. As I've said before, I'm very picky, and for me sun is an important thing to get the dynamic pictures. But there was no sign of the sun.
Okay, so now I see that the mountain over here is blocking a bit of the light in Valdis' face, so she has shadows under her eyes, and you can continue to shoot if you want to, but since I am very picky, I want to go over there because it looks a little bit brighter. So we walk over there and see if the light gets a little bit better.
Valdis was a true hero since it was really cold at this time. We used heat bags, but I could tell it was hard for her. We were so impressed that she managed to look so calm. To get the right color in Photoshop, I've used some different color layers to make the colors pop. It's really easy and it doesn't take much time. If you want me to show how I edit my pictures, leave a comment below and I will fix it. After Jakobsarlon, we drove to the beautiful lava fields, but the weather just kept getting worse. When we finally arrived, it was full snowstorm and the lava stones were covered in snow. The sky and ground was melting together and it didn't look good at all. We decided that we continue our shoot when we arrived to Iceland a couple of weeks later instead, since we were leaving the day after. So this summer we will try again, and I already look forward to meet them again. My best advice for photographing here: book some extra time because you will need it. You must also visit the black sand beach right across the road. There we will find small icebergs and it's really beautiful. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I will see you next week again with the last episode from this series. Bye!